Hashtag a single mom hired a $50 fake boyfriend for Christmas. She never expected who he really was. I don't know if I can do this anymore, Emma whispered, tears streaming down her face as she stood in the snow-covered driveway. The man before her, the same man she'd paid $50 to pretend to be in love with her, reached for her hand. You hired me to play a part, Emma. But I've never been acting. Not since the moment I realized who you really were. If that moment caught your attention, stick with us to find out how Emma's desperate holiday plan turned into the most unexpected Christmas miracle. And if you're enjoying this story, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming content that reminds us all that sometimes, fate has a funny way of bringing the right people together. Emma Sullivan clutched her phone, staring at the ad she'd posted, fake boyfriend needed for Christmas dinner with family. $50 flat rate. Must be convincing and drama-free. Her finger hovered over the delete button. This was crazy, wasn't it? But the thought of facing another Christmas with her mother's pitying looks and her sister's smug "I told you so" expression when the topic of Emma's failed marriage came up was unbearable. For 2 years since the divorce, she'd managed to dodge family gatherings, claiming she and her 8-year-old daughter Lily had other plans. This year, her mother had pulled out the ultimate weapon, guilt. Grandma might not have many Christmases left, she'd said. Emma couldn't say no again. The first few responses to her ad had been horrifying, creeps looking for something else entirely. But then came Michael's message. Simple, straightforward, respectful. His profile picture showed kind eyes and a genuine smile. A graduate student in psychology, he wrote that he could use the extra cash for textbooks next semester. They arranged to meet at a coffee shop the next day. Emma arrived early, nervously rehearsing the backstory she'd created. They'd met at the bookstore where she worked. They'd been dating for 3 months. He was good with Lily. Simple, believable details that wouldn't require elaborate lies. When Michael walked in, her first thought was that his photos didn't do him justice. Tall with dark curly hair and warm brown eyes, he carried himself with quiet confidence. As he approached her table, something flickered across his face, surprise, perhaps, before he smiled and extended his hand. You must be Emma, he said, his voice deep and reassuring. I'm Michael. Their planning session went smoothly. Michael took notes about her family members and their dynamics, asked thoughtful questions about her boundaries, and seemed genuinely invested in helping her pull this off. Why are you really doing this? Emma found herself asking. $50 doesn't seem worth the trouble. Michael paused, seeming to consider his answer carefully. Everyone deserves to feel supported during the holidays, he finally said. And honestly, my alternative was sitting alone in my apartment grading papers. The day before Christmas Eve, Michael texted to confirm their arrangement. Emma sent him the address and time, ignoring the flutter in her stomach that had nothing to do with anxiety about the deception and everything to do with seeing him again. She told herself it was just gratitude for his help. Christmas Eve arrived with a flurry of snow. Emma spent the morning helping Lily bake cookies for Santa, trying to keep her mind off the evening ahead. When the doorbell rang at 4:30, Lily raced to answer it. You must be the famous Lily, Emma heard Michael say as she hurried to the door. Your mom has told me so much about you. Lily, usually shy around strangers, beamed up at him. Are you mom's boyfriend for real, or just for pretend at grandma's? Emma froze, mortified. She hadn't explained the situation to Lily, assuming her daughter wouldn't notice or care about one more adult at Christmas dinner. Michael's eyes met Emma's over Lily's head, a silent question in them. Lily, honey, Emma began, not sure how to salvage the situation. Your mom and I are friends who enjoy spending time together, Michael said smoothly, kneeling to Lily's level. And I'm really looking forward to meeting your family tonight. I heard there might be some amazing mashed potatoes. Lily giggled. Grandma's potatoes are famous. She puts so much butter in them that Mom says they'll give you a heart attack, but they're worth it. The crisis averted, they loaded into Emma's car for the 30-minute drive to her mother's house. As Michael helped Lily buckle her seatbelt, Emma noticed how natural he was with her daughter. Most men she'd dated since the divorce had treated Lily as an obstacle to overcome rather than a person to connect with. "So," Michael said once they were on the road, "tell me more about what I'm walking into. Anything I should be prepared for?" Emma sighed. "My sister Caroline will try to catch us in a lie. She's always been competitive, and she's convinced her life choices, corporate job, no kids, are superior to mine. My dad will ask you about sports, which I realized I forgot to brief you on. And my mother will alternate between fawning over you and dropping hints about grandchildren." "I can handle that," Michael assured her. "My family's pretty similar, actually." "Where is your family tonight?" Lily piped up from the back seat. A shadow crossed Michael's face. "They're not around anymore, kiddo. But that's why I'm so happy your mom invited me to join yours." Emma felt a pang of guilt. She'd been so focused on her own holiday stress that she hadn't considered Michael might have his own complicated feelings about Christmas. Before she could ask more questions, they were pulling into her parents' driveway. The night began better than Emma could have hoped. Michael charmed her mother instantly by complimenting the decorations and offering to help in the kitchen. He and her father discovered a shared interest in vintage vinyl records, launching into an animated conversation about obscure jazz albums. Even Caroline seemed impressed when Michael mentioned his psychology research, asking thoughtful questions about her marketing career that had her preening with pride. Throughout dinner, his hand occasionally found Emma's under the table, a gesture that wasn't strictly necessary for their charade but felt comforting nonetheless. When her mother inevitably brought up Emma's ex-husband, Michael smoothly changed the subject by asking Lily about her school play, showing genuine interest in her daughter's animated description of playing a snowflake. "You found a good one this time, Emma," her mother whispered as they cleared the dinner plates. "He looks at you the way your father used to look at me." Emma forced a smile, ignoring the twist in her stomach. This wasn't real, she reminded herself. She'd hired him to play a part, and he was simply earning his money. After dessert, as the family gathered in the living room to exchange gifts, Emma slipped away to the kitchen for a moment alone. The evening was going well, too well. Michael fit into her family so naturally that she found herself wishing their relationship wasn't a fabrication. "Need help with anything?" Michael's voice startled her from her thoughts. "Just needed a minute," she admitted. "You're doing an amazing job. Academy Award-worthy performance." Something flickered in his eyes, hurt, before he smiled. "It's not hard to act like I'm enjoying myself. Your family is great. Even Caroline?" Emma raised an eyebrow. "She's protective of you." "I respect that." He hesitated, then added, "Emma, there's something I should." "Mom. Grandma says it's time for presents." Lily burst into the kitchen, grabbing both their hands and pulling them back toward the living room. The gift exchange was chaotic, with wrapping paper flying and exclamations of delight. Emma hadn't expected Michael to bring gifts, but he produced small, thoughtfully wrapped packages for everyone, a vintage record for her father, gourmet chocolates for her mother, a best-selling business book for Caroline, and for Lily, a handcrafted snow globe with a tiny replica of their town's historic library inside. "When did you have time to find all these?" Emma whispered, amazed by his thoughtfulness. "I pay attention," he replied simply. As the evening wound down, Emma's mother insisted they take home leftovers, pressing containers into Michael's hands while telling him to take care of my girls. The phrase made Emma's chest tight with an emotion she couldn't name. The drive home was quiet, Lily falling asleep in the back seat within minutes. When they pulled up to Emma's house, Michael helped carry the sleeping child inside and waited patiently as Emma tucked her in. "I should get going," he said when she returned to the living room. "It's getting late." "Wait," Emma said, retrieving her purse. "I need to pay you." She held out the $50, suddenly feeling awkward about the transaction after such a personal evening. Michael looked at the money but didn't take it. "Keep it. Consider it my Christmas gift." "But our agreement." "Emma," he interrupted gently, "I need to tell you something, and I should have said it earlier. I didn't respond to your ad by coincidence." He took a deep breath. "We've met before. You don't remember me, but 10 years ago, you worked at the campus bookstore at State University. I was a freshman, struggling to afford textbooks. When I came up short at the register, you paid the difference from your own wallet. You told me to pay it forward someday." Emma stared at him, memories slowly surfacing. "That was you? The boy with the calculus textbook?" Michael nodded. "I never forgot your kindness. When I saw your ad, I recognized your name and picture immediately. I didn't plan to tell you, I just wanted to help the way you helped me. But tonight, watching you with your family, with Lily, pretending didn't feel right anymore. So everything tonight was, what? Repaying a debt?" Michael smiled, taking her hand. "I'd like nothing better." 1 year later, Emma, Michael, and Lily arrived at her parents' house for Christmas Eve dinner. This time, there was no pretending, no rehearsed stories, just the genuine joy of a family finding its way together. As they approached the door, Lily ran ahead, eager to tell her grandmother about the science fair project Michael had helped her with. "Ready?" Michael asked, squeezing Emma's hand. She looked down at the engagement ring he'd given her just that morning, a simple design with a snowflake pattern etched into the band, a reminder of how their story began. "More than ready," she replied. Sometimes the most beautiful beginnings come from what seem like desperate measures. Emma's $50 investment hadn't bought her a temporary solution to a holiday problem, it had returned to her the kindness she'd once shown a stranger, multiplied beyond measure in the form of lasting love. And isn't that what Christmas is truly about? The unexpected gifts that change our lives forever. If this story touched your heart, remember to like and subscribe for more content that celebrates love in all its surprising forms. Because you never know when a small act of kindness might come full circle to become the greatest gift of all.